What's good, Pack Nation? Listen, it's your first time here. Welcome to Back with Gary. We're going to do this live and talk about what we're hearing, right? Um, First off, let's just get into it. Took Jerry Dean long enough to get in this portal, right? I was like, what is this man waiting on? Now all I need is Musa to get in there and get that out the way. We can start working on some other stuff. But yeah, that's my first thing. I am a bit bothered. And what I'm bothered about is I'm seeing Pack fans going back and forth at each other about Justin Gainey and being patient and all of this stuff. And I'm like, I get it. I really do get it. But for some reason, it's like people are forgetting what we just went through, right? We did hire one of our own, Justin Gainey. We supposedly gave him the resources that he needs to be successful. I don't know if in hindsight we didn't, if we're like, oh, he needs a little bit more, but supposedly he has enough, right, to be competitive. And some state fans acting like they don't see what's going on around here. Like big time names are getting scooped out the portal. That is worrisome to me. I'm a patient guy. Like I know it's some names that are going to go in late. You know, it's a possibility for us to get somebody, that's not even in the portal yet. We got one guy, Hammonds, and that's it. Boswell maybe next, but that's guards, right? No bigs yet. And I feel like every time we zone in on a big, either someone else scoops them up or they tell us a number we're not willing to pay. I'm going to say willing because it can't be we can't afford to pay it, right? Like, why not pay your big and figure the rest out? Because if not, it's going to be like last year. We're going to be getting killed in the paint. Bringing all these mid-major guys, yeah, it's cool to give them opportunity, but I really don't want to build my team off mid-major dudes just because they played great at that lower level. So that's concerning for me. Jack says, Gainey is known as a guy who finds diamonds in the rough, not worry Virginia strategy. Yeah, I hear you. I'm also understanding Virginia's NIL was like more than ours. So not sure we're going to get that level of player if we take that approach. And the key here is you put an S on diamonds in the rough. I'm not sure you're finding diamonds in one class or one season, right? Maybe he finds one, but if on a bunch of diamonds, like, what are we doing? I don't want to take that approach. I don't know about y'all, but I don't. Now, back to my point. Fans going at each other is crazy. Like, for those of you who are not nervous, cool. Then we'll let you be the positive ones. For those of us who are like, look, it's not about who we've got committed so far. It's about, I don't feel like we're in a mix with enough at the level we should be at. And these guys are getting big time offers. And we're just like, yeah, we'll circle back. And then they're gone. I mean, to hear that Paul has an offer more than what we're willing to give him, and we're banking on him staying home, is nerve-wracking. I hope this man is that much of a homebody and love his family that much that he won't go 4 hours away or however far it is, and he wants to stay right here. But man, to shortchange this guy, just pay him the loyalty tax. Yeah, I get he may not be worth the money that they're talking about, but you got to have like long vision here. That's just my perspective. Let me get caught up on y'all comments because I'm not done. I do have some more to say here. See what Pat talking about. Pat says, weak high school class this year. Suboptimal portal. Higher prices is not a favorable draw this year. Not as favorable a setup as last year when the other teams are still playing. Okay. Jack says Austin and Hines would be good pickups. They would be good pickups. They'd be phenomenal pickups. Hines, I'm hearing numbers around $4 million. And it sounds like we're being cheap and we won't do it. Yeah. It's frustrating, Jack. I don't know. I just don't know about what's going on over there. Eddie says, agree. Need to pay big money for quality big and soon. Exactly. Look, I don't want to go out here, scoop up all these guards or whatever. And here's the crazy part. My father and I go back and forth on this. I'm not a guy that likes bigs, right? I'd much rather have a lot of forwards that are functional, that are 6'7" and taller. I'm just to use some NBA examples, right? Give me like a Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, Scottie Pippen, all of them on one lineup where you have multiple people who can get the rebound, take off, right? And guard multiple positions. That's ideal for me. Even your four should be more like a Kevin Durant, not somebody with his back to the basket. However, at this point, I will take any big that's high level that they want to go after. Because if we don't, we're going to end up with some Temu big that like Musa, and it's going to be a hot mess. MBS Wolf says, yeah, I feel like Gainey is going to have to outcoach people, teams, instead of outspend other teams. I hear that. It's a lot of talk about, oh, he's a first-year coach, and players are going to be, not sure about him, yada, yada. I agree with that, but at the same time, it's like that's probably why you're going to have to come out the pocket a little bit more, right? I'm just really, really concerned that we're acting as if people should want to come to us off the strength of our new coach that doesn't have any coaching experience, right? I'm really concerned about the new coach and new GM together. Like, I don't know what the approach is, but I'm hoping stuff start landing soon because I'm telling you, every time I see something about a big, they're gone. One article on it, and then they're nowhere to be found. Pat, great point. Giving our guys like Clore to UVA is the UVA strategy. Yeah, talking about UVA strategy, they're paying. They're paying this man more than what we feel he is worth. I get that. But that's what you end up getting. You paying and then you coach them up if they're not quite at that level. This is just wild. Okay? Wild. Eddie says, Paul definitely deserves a bag from us. Absolutely. Like, for our coach to come in and say he's a relationship builder, I think that would go a long way to show the loyalty to a guy that stayed for 3 coaches. Right? First coach, gone. Didn't play him as much as he should have. He still decided, you know what? I'm going to give this new coach a chance. Okay, new coach, comes, boom. Doesn't put him in the best spot to be successful, takes him out all the time when he gets hot, yada, yada. Okay. Now he's here with still with an opportunity to stay. And we're trying to shortchange my man? It's crazy. Justice can't blame Paul if he decides to leave. As long as he doesn't go to LSU or Carolina, he'll always be a state guy to me. I mean, Jack, I'm sort of with you on this. Like, yeah, as long as he doesn't go to LSU or Carolina, I'm good. But you really can't transfer out and then just start coming back to the games expecting applause, right? When we begging for you to stay. So, yeah, it'll be that he went here for some years. But I don't know. I'm gonna be like, look, I don't think he should be coming out and getting cheers for tying the record for threes and all of this mess when he leave us to go play for, especially a team in our conference. If he did that, but yeah, torn on that one. Silent Joker. If P2 went to LSU and Abel went to UNC, they'd be as big as snakes as pear-shaped Wade. So look, let's go ahead and talk about it. Y'all brought it up. Abel being linked to any type of Carolina stuff is just ridiculous. If this guy is willing to do that, no, he been here a year. He may not have a full understanding of the rivalry, but he been here this past year. He should know. Snell probably had to let him know what it is. And you willing to do that? Yeah, you were a perfect fit for Wade. Snake, baby snake. Like, he would be so hated. I do not mind this man leaving, but you can't do that. Matter of fact, you real snaky for even having them in your top list of schools. What are we doing? You act like we did something to you. You mad at us. Wade left. Don't be in your feelings with us trying to get back at us by going to Chapel Hill. Like, that's crazy. Go to any of them other schools. I'd actually prefer you go to LSU than Carolina. Just go ahead. Follow your snake daddy if that's how you gonna move. Absolutely ridiculous. So look, I told you all, if you're just getting in here talking about fans going back and forth about be patient, Gainey has a plan, all of this stuff. It's going to be different for him because he's a first-year coach, yada, yada. We were sort of doing a Wade and talking a whole lot of junk at the beginning when he was hired about what this NIL was going to be, right? And if it is what it's supposed to be, upwards of 14, why are we holding on to our wallet so tight? I know you got a full roster to build out, but you're going to mess around and have 10 mediocre dudes. This Hammond dude, listen, I don't believe he about to come into the ACC and average 15 a game. I just don't. Like, he might get you 20 every now and then, but it's levels to this. And I'm just not too excited about Santa Clara coming in here and becoming first team all ACC. So, and I don't feel that way about Boswell either. So far, there's nobody on our list that I'm like, oh, we get him. Okay. We right where we need to be. Everybody's like Band-Aids, right? It's really looking like we're going to try to just get through this year and see how things pan out next year, which is scary. Now, I hope that I'm wrong, right? I want I want to have this live next week and be like, y'all know what? I was tripping. My fault. But in this moment, it's not looking good, folks. And then everybody's like, oh, well, not everybody. Let me change that. That one group of Pack fans is like, look, comparing this year to last year. This time last year, we didn't even have our whole staff and yada, yada. Look, I don't want a team like last year at all. Okay? So if it means that you're going to end up getting players you don't really know much about, and if they have what it takes, nah, I'm good on that. Good on that approach. So please don't miss me with trying to say, oh, last year, not comparing. Pat says, if we don't have money to really compete, would you rather take 5-6 freshmen each year and try to pull 3 to 4 high-quality portal players, knowing that each year you'll roll over half the roster? I wouldn't. And Pat, like, I like the concept, but if I take 5 or 6 freshmen and I don't have money, 5 or 6 of my freshmen are probably going to leave. Right? Like, they just don't stick around. They be looking for, okay, let's say 5 of them. Let's say we take 5 or 6 freshmen. 2 are really, really good. Those 2 are gone. Right? Going to get bigger paydays. All right, so then we're left with the other guys that maybe are not worth what they're trying to ask for. They're gone. And then we start all over. I do not want to go that route. I mean, really, all I want to see is a bid come through. If I see a bid come through, then I'll be like, okay, we're still behind, but it's okay. And I'd like to see Paul get his check and keep it moving. This man took forever to put his name in the portal, like he trying to give us a chance. And we're like, I don't know. Like, how many hints does this guy have to throw? I'm going to say it multiple times throughout this live. Pay this man, please. Just pay him. So let's talk about some of these players that we have potentially targeted. Okay. So we know that Boswell came on a visit. Visit went well. He's also been to Maryland. You know what? Maryland getting on my nerves. Like, I don't even really think about Maryland that much, but you know, we're going out to Boswell, Maryland in the mix. Got Paul trying to keep Maryland in the mix. Like, Maryland need to cool out. Stay in your lane up north. Don't come down here. But anyway, so hopefully the Boswell thing happens. Okay, cool. Now you locked up 2 guards. Let's go get some bigger guys. Hines, again, the number is big. $4 million. I know his stats probably don't say 4 million, but you got to pay attention to the market, inflation, what it is. Like, forget last year. The numbers are the numbers now. And if we want a high level big and you want to recruit North Carolina so bad, bring this man home. All right. Sorry, guys. My nose is really, really itchy right now. Let's see. We've got Tori Austin coming in for official visit. So we'll see about that. You know, another mid-major guy, not really super excited, but he's from North Carolina. He's bouncy, 6'9", power forward. Okay, cool. Like I said, I'll take it. I will take it. other bigs, the Hammond's guy, his teammate is in the mix. Santa Clara. Um, I have not been able to catch any film on him, any highlights, anything like that. So I don't know much about him. But he's big. I'll take him. Because if we keep missing on these guys, it's only going to get worse. All the good ones are getting snatched up. So what I want to know is, how are y'all really feeling right now? Are you one of the fans that is like, oh, pump your brakes, everything's cool? Or are you nervous like me? Let me know. Pat says, when VCU gets a visit from Austin before us, we have problems. Listen, maybe it was a timing issue. Maybe VCU got the visit because they just happened to reach out first. And then we missed on our targets, like we probably did, because of the wallet. And we chose not to pay them what they're requesting. And so they went elsewhere. And he was further down on our list. And he had already scheduled VCU. So now you're like, oh, NC State, that's better. Let me add them as well. I'm still going to go to VCU. If you're willing to visit us after visiting another school, I'm cool with that because we probably can win that visit. We just got to get them on campus. Oh, Steven coming out here with haymakers. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'd rather have Keats with 14 mil NIL than our current situation. You know what? You said it, not me. But you know that would never happen. Keats would never get those type of resources because people are just too frustrated with how he approached his teams, not willing to change. And yeah, it was a wrap there. But he would have made some moves by now. I'll tell you that. So UNC about to break out the Final Four roster, and we would be lucky to make the NIT. UNC is spending the bag right now. Okay, I don't know where this money's coming from. It seems like they had some people that were like with Keats holding back because they didn't like the coaching situation. And then once the change was made, all this money started flooding in. And they are spending it, which is cool. Do that. I know we can't spend like that, but just a little bit. Overpay for one player to let me know you're willing to spend. That's all I need. Like, it's so bad. It's nerve-wracking. And I can be bothered and still be patient. Okay? I'm not saying Gainey not going to be successful. What I am saying is he's behind the 8 ball right now. And if you don't believe that, cool. But you check out some of these other rosters, how Louisville just banging them out 2 in a day. You got Carolina already making crazy moves. Their coach just got there. I mean, what excuse do we have other than we're not really paying? Jack says, I'm Zen, Gary. We are NC State. We will never have sustained success, and we will be third best in the neighborhood. Disappointing. We haven't got any high-level guys, but it's not surprising. So, Jack, I will not be that pessimistic. Okay? I hear you. And it's a good way to temper expectations and, like you said, keep your zen, not be bothered by just accepting mediocrity, right? I, however, am not with that. Carolina has an opportunity here to not be old Carolina. Like, even though they're spending, they got a coach with 1 foot in the NBA. Anybody who thinks otherwise is crazy. This man is there, his daughter there. If she transfer or when she graduate, my man is out. You hear me? Or right back to the NBA with the bigger paycheck. So there's going to be some change at some point. And with Duke, Duke, they're on autopilot. I don't see the only way that we even get to their level is Gainey has to knock this thing out the park, right? It has to be scenario like, homegrown, and then he's just killing North Carolina, getting all the top players because he's built those relationships that he talks about. Aside from that, yeah, you're right. It's going to be like, But at the same time, even if we were third fiddle in a triangle, as good as those two teams have been, we could be third and still be pretty damn good. I just would rather, if we're going to be third, be a good third. That's all I'm asking. Eddie says, he's uneasy, still hopeful. Wants us to work with Gainey here. I hope our staff has some connections to help us land who we need. I agree, Eddie. Pat says the sad reality is Wade knew the money wasn't there, and administration led fans, etc., to believe we have more to throw around. Staff isn't acting like we have much to work with by their actions. Pat, you said it perfectly. That's my thing. If the money's not there, tell me the money's not there. Temper my expectations. But if you hype me up, telling me my man's going to have all these resources, and people have this expectation that the NIL has increased because we did have that buyout. So where'd that money go? Right? We're not paying our coach as much as we were before. We had the fundraising. As soon as he was fired, you all was hitting everybody's phone and email asking for money. So, and I know the money came through. We had huge donations. So if all that happened, what's going on? The math is not mathing. For us to be not pulling the trigger on some of these guys because of $1 it's not making sense to me. Jack says, maybe we can get Mingo. Carolina's reportedly spending the bag. They still only got one dude. Listen, I don't think we'll pay for Mingo. I mean, we probably could get him because he's probably in his feelings. The way they're trying to spend it, they let him go. Not he asked out of his, commitment. So it would be nice. It would be an approach I would take. I'd be like, hey, look, they ragged him real greasy over there. You want to get back at them? Come down the street. Even if you're not going to pay what they were paying, say, look, it's going to be at a little bit lower cost, but you get your get back and see what he say. Right? I don't even know if we spinning the block on him like that. So I haven't even thought about Mingo because so far this staff has shown me that if it's a big name out there, we're probably not in the mix. Like, they might like us, but we don't like their dollar amount. So that's where I'm at with that. And each day, it's becoming more and more realistic. We're not going to get a big name. YK Bond says you can't hire a new coach and decrease the NIL. Say it louder for the people in the back. I'm hoping we didn't do that. Fresh as breath. Abel ends up at UNC. Lord, we talking diabolical work. Exactly. If he ends up at UNC, my man gonna have to act like he's sick when we play them. Like it's especially if they allow us to play. I don't know if we're gonna play home and home next year, but if the schedule pans out where they have to come to Raleigh again, oh man, yeah, you might want to be sick that game, my guy, because that's not where you want to be at all. As a matter of fact, Chapel Hill don't have nothing going on. A lot of those people come to Raleigh to hang out and stuff like that. You can't do that either. You have to stay your butt in Carborough, Pittsburgh, whatever's over there. Maybe you can go to Durham a little bit, but don't come down 40. It would not be a good look. These kids are not having it. $83 cardiac pack. Gaining higher sucks, guys. Whew. We can only get Pee-wee talent now. Will Wade was our guy that made us relevant. Now we butt again. He got us to the tourney and wasn't even trying. Listen, I am not going to hype up Will Wade. This man been cheating his whole life. Okay? Just, listen. He did get us some decent players. He put together a decent roster that could get you to the tournament. But we should have been way better. So like you said, with him not trying, the players were enough. And we overpaid for Williams, right? I'm sure we probably overpaid for Arsenal. But we were still able to get the players. So this year, I'm like, look, overpay for some people. You might miss, but if you're such a phenomenal coach and you have this phenomenal staff and you develop players, they should get better. If they're not what you thought they were when they first get here, by the time conference play come, they should be better. Closer to what the expectation was. But to say the gaining higher sucks, I'm not with it because it's way too early to be saying that. And Will Wade was not our guy. He was a guy that was good at talking, and he got everybody hype, got the press hype. That's what made us relevant. But at the same time, as soon as we started losing, they jumped right off the bandwagon. And we were not spoken about again, other than being a huge disappointment all the way to the bubble. So, yeah, you can miss me with that one. YK Bum says Mingo wants $3 million. Oh, we won't even give $3 million to Paul. So I know he's not coming over here. That's YK, I wish you hadn't told me that. I didn't know that number. So I know it was probably something we could have made happen, and we chose not to. Duke ain't got nobody yet. But they got all their guys coming back, don't they? But they got one guy going pro and maybe two to transfer. So, they really don't have to do much in the portal, from my understanding. Let me know if I'm wrong. Steven says, Boo should personally knock on doors singing Christmas carols, trying to raise money. He's responsible for our situation. And Jack says, dude has no more recruiting class in the country, though. Fact. We're not even going to talk about them. I don't know how good those kids are coming in, but they're probably a big deal, right? So you just reload it with All-Americans, potential one-and-done players. Like, to think that you have Rippy over there and he's probably not going to get the burn he thought he was going to get is wild. Like, unless that Boozer transfers out, or Caleb Foster transfers out, which and both of them stay. Yeah, he's really going to be looking like a freshman over there with limited minutes. Pat says, I'd wager the Mingo end up at LSU because Wade will need a splash and he's Q 2.0 at steeper price. Okay. The anti-Satan? I heard today Corey NIL mentioned to Coach G during interviews was 12 to 14 million. That's what I think everybody's been hearing. That same number. So just, like I said, the math is a math. And if it's 12 to 4, if it's too closer to 12, that's different. If it's 14, you pull the trigger. Because 2 million that's a player or two. So I get it. If it's 12, then yikes. Gainey really gonna have to show how good of a coach he is. Will Wade will fade, but not the molly-whopping of the holes. This is true. Pat says, if the quotes on NIL were accurate, and we're in Conference USA A10 and WCC searching for players, then we're not exactly trying. My point. So I say the math's not mathing. Like, if we have that type of money, there's no excuse for us not having at least one big-time grab already. Every other school has one that's trying to compete at a high level. Every single one of them. And we out here twiddling our fingers, twiddling our thumbs, whatever they say. Either way, we're doing it. And it's ridiculous. Very, very ridiculous and depressing. Like I said, if you have 12 million, you're not getting mid-major guys. Somebody lying. Fact. Jay says, I will say, Gary, we might be talking two major guys, two major kids, but LSU is talking to no one. So maybe we've come out on the plus side. We may be talking two. I'm thinking you're saying we might be talking to mid-major kids, but LSU is talking to no one. So maybe we've come out on the plus side. We'll see. Eddie says, after all the Final Four rosters were full of bigs, every school wants to load up with multiple bigs now, just so we're not left with the scraps. Oh, we're left with the scraps. You can just call us a little scrappy because that's what we are out here just chilling with Musa and Mikey on our team. And we are in no hurry to go get a big. Mount Pack says Boswell's not mid-major. Hammond is a good budget piece at a savings. Yeah, Boswell's not mid-major. He's coming from Tennessee. Okay, cool. But he's really mainly a defender with potential upside, right? So what we're going to put around him? Hammond, all right, that's cool. Like I said, he's not going to be a first teamer in the ACC. So what we doing? I mean, think about this. If Boswell was not at Tennessee, then we're looking at this like we got one guy from Santa Clara and supposedly 12 to 14 mil in NIL. And we can't keep our leading scorer from last year. Like, I don't know. Okay, it says also need to recruit more size because UNC and Duke are going to be massive. Always. Virginia's going to be big. Miami's going to be big. Duke's going to be big. Carolina's going to be big. That's 4 teams right there. Top 4 gone. And we don't get some size. We're just going to get murdered on the boards over and over and over again. Mark said, players are getting paid these kind of dollars now. What's the ceiling going to look like 2 or 3 years? I think before then, it's going to be a salary cap in place. Like, I don't think they're going to be able to go 3 more years of this raising each year. Like, somebody going to put a stop to it. So, hopefully that happens sooner than later. Malpass says, what about Micah? Any news? This guy being linked to Carolina. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I tell you Carolina is out here spending, they are spending. I'm seeing things with this guy looking at Carolina. They've already gotten other pieces. And it's like, yo, what are we doing? Yo, I don't even want to talk about Carolina anymore. But yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Pastor Jamie's friend and old teammate who also transferred out. I must have missed something there. Class says Isaiah Evans, NBA draft. Well, he coming back. I don't know. This draft kind of deep. He might want to come back and get some more of that NIL before he be stuck in the G League somewhere. And Josh Satan says there are gems in the mid-majors that can be added at a lower rate, thus leaving a bigger stack to land a major player. Absolutely. Absolutely. So look, all I'm asking is for us to really, really be in the mix for a major player. If I hear that we actually threw a bag at somebody and we were outbid, big bank take little bank, I'm okay with that. If we were in the mix and we tried, if Gainey's like, look, man, I tried to go get Hines. He said he wanted $4 million. We gave him $4 million. UConn or somebody came in with 4.2 or something crazy like that. I'd be like, cool. Y'all, we got outbid. But if they come to the table and they in these Zoom calls, and they're like, look, our price is 4 off gate. And we're like, all right, nice talking with you. We'll let you go. Oh, my God. Why? Imagine a scenario where we do all of this saving. We go get these mid-majors at a discount, right? We've built up our team. We need one major piece. And we got money left. We got like $6 million to put towards a major piece. And they're all gone. We sitting here with another Darian Williams situation, trying to make Robin Batman. That's what I don't want. Pay for Batman and quit playing. Definitely play for Superman. Like, if you got somebody that don't even need a sidekick and he could just take over, pay the man. Figure the rest out. Well, now y'all got jokes. Earl said, what about Isaiah Miranda? Yo, stop it. I don't know where that kid's at. He should be graduated by now, shouldn't he? Shouldn't he be like a senior or graduated? So yeah, folks, we are trying to be patient. I'm going to have these lives for us to, us fans who are not feeling okay about where we're at, to actually express our feelings. Because I know there's a lot of the former Will Waiters that are like, oh, just give it time. It's going to be fine. But just like last year, I was on board early. After I stopped getting my questions answered and he stopped making any type of adjustment, I realized something ain't right. Okay, let me stop being so emotionally invested. But for this upcoming season, if I don't start seeing some things move, it's going to be sort of the same shift for me. I got to protect my heart, guys. Can't have me out here just all super engaged and ready for us to sort of just take the conference by storm and super excited about our coach, just going to coach everybody up and recruit the state, and then we're not spending no money that we supposedly have. It's a problem. Jack says G League guys coming back. Maybe Jalen Lee, is it Leak or LeQ? I forget how you say his name. Can come home. You know what? Gainey doesn't seem like the type of guy to go after somebody like that. It would be cool if he tried, to push the envelope a little bit, but he don't seem like that type of coach, right? It may even be a few years before we try to go get somebody from abroad. Like, international players are a thing, and I don't see us making no real hard pushes. I hope I'm wrong, because I also get the vibe the Gainey be trying to move real secret-like, real low-key. If that's his approach, fine. But it's making me nervous, Coach. It's 4365 says, I feel like letting these players and agents with big price tags go has to happen when we don't have a top 15 NIL. Got to get the top 50 guys and coach them up. So look, I hear you. My thing is, are we going to do that? Are we going to get top 50? Right? I've given up on top 15. Okay? You got a point. Top 15, probably going to top 10 programs in the country that are spending. Right? You got Arizona, Carolina, Duke, you got Michigan. Who else is out there spending like crazy? I don't know, maybe somebody like Florida. Well, majority of the SEC schools are throwing money around. UConn. I mean, I get that. Boom, that's your 15. Louisville, by the way. But the top 50, we're like sprinkled in. Maybe 2. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel good about it. Mount Pack said Ding entering the portal finally. Yeah, I said that when I started. I was like, oh, I'm so glad to see that. He was taking too long for me. Now I'm just waiting on Musa. Class says y'all play Duke at Duke, y'all play UNC at UNC. So we only gonna have one game again, huh? Well, that sucks. Would love to play them twice, but it's all right. So yeah, before I get to rambling, y'all tell me what else you got on your mind. What other questions you got? What are you hearing that you want some clarity on, or tell me, just tell me how you would want the additions to play out. What do you want to happen next? Because I've told y'all what I want. I want to know who do y'all want to see commit next? What's your number one priority if you were the GM? Oh, and that's another thing. Patrick Stacey's the GM now. I didn't see no notification come out. It was just like slid under the radar. I don't know. But anyway, let me know how y'all feel. Did I miss anything on Kobe Garland? I did not cover Kobe Garland. Let's see. Let me familiarize myself really quickly here. All right, it's going to take me a minute with Garland, so I'll talk about him next time, unless you want to share with us some thoughts. What conference is he in, or was he in? Oh, that's another mid-major guy. We talking about San Jose State? We're talking about San Jose State. That's another guy that is in a smaller conference, averaging 20. Yeah, not my thing, but he could be good. These mid-major guys are some of them do make that jump and are very good players. I just don't want my team full of them. Mount Pack says, played at San Jose State. Yeah, that's the one I just looked up. Is JG saving the money for two big-time players? Who? I would hope that was the case, but who? I'm assuming this big-time player is either in the draft and has not decided to come back, or is not in the portal yet at all. Because none of the big-time players that are in there right now are we even competing for. We're out on juke. Okay, not going to pay for that. Who is it that we're holding our money for? It's 4365 says, I just want to have a team that plays hard next year. My expectations are that we don't make the tournament. Ooh, that hurt me. I don't even want to read that again. The biggest thing I want to see next year, some good freshman recruits and player retention. Listen, that sounds good, that last sentence. But for me, I'm not even concerned about player retention anymore. Like, if you can keep one or two kids, cool. If you're winning, you'll keep more, probably. But we can't even potentially keep Paul. And this guy is trying his hardest to stay. And we are fighting it to just, I don't get it. But to say that, you just want a team that plays hard, I get that. And that is because, what you just saw, probably. You don't want to see something like that again where it leaves us wanting more in effort. But I'm going to need more than somebody just playing hard. Like, that's not going to be enough for me to, be a season ticket holder and just be like, oh, my team play hard every game. Nah, I'm good on that. But I understand your position. You think Native Mint may come back? No. I do not. If he did, I would be that'd be like Caleb going back to Carolina. Like he said he's in the draft. So, but that's a stretch. I don't think so. Earl says 2 7-footers at Charleston College, cheap size. Hey, look. Do y'all remember when we had a 7-footer back in the day that was what was my man's name? Vandenberg. Y'all remember him? Wasn't that his name, Vandenberg or something like that? Like, yeah, height is height, but sometimes it's just not enough in our conference. I need a functional 7-footer. I don't need somebody just standing out there with his arms up thinking that's going to be enough. But you can get dunked on doing that, and then you just in the way. So I don't know what these Charleston 7-footers are like, but I'll take a 7-footer that has no offensive game, that can jump and move his feet. I know I'm asking for a lot. But yeah, I'll take some Rudy Gobert's. That's fine. I said, what happened to our wish list of ACC guys? Gone, Jack. I don't know. That was our list. But like I said in previous videos, it doesn't seem like Juke was really the only one off that list that I have seen us in contention for. The Burton at Notre Dame is gone. He went to Indiana. Sialupa, I don't know where he's at, but I've heard no news about us potentially going after him. My guy Syracuse, nothing with us going after him. So it's just like any has a different type of guy he wants, I guess. Maybe they spoke and those Zoom calls just didn't go anywhere. But my wish list is trashed. I'm gonna have to come up with a new one. And every time I do, the next day, 3 of them are like out. Going to other schools, or we're not in the mix, which is just terrible. I need to quit wishing for these guys. Pat says, until players visit, I'm not getting hype. I agree. Even when they visit, I'm not getting hype. Like, I need the visit to be the most amazing visit they had in their life. We were the only visit, like Hammonds. If they're going on multiple visits, I'm going to sit back and wait. Steve said, quit hating on Van. I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying there's levels to this, and I don't want that level of big because it took some years for him to just be functional, right? And I don't want that. It's 4365. Say we can definitely find good players outside Power 5. Horn and Burns are prime examples. Okay, now both of them played Power 5 though. So I believe. I don't know what conference Arizona State is in, but I know he was somewhere else before that. So if he wasn't Power 5, Horn might be the only one, but Burns was at Tennessee. So he was a different level player that went down. If that's what it's going to be, where you get a guy from a mid-major that, should have been P5, P4 now, then cool. But I don't want to risk that. Like, just go get the proven guy. Get one proven guy. That's all I'm asking. And then I can be like, all right, he's got his one. Everybody else could be a project or hope. Mark says, Gary, with the NIL transfer portal dollars, yes, I agree with there being a contractual clause being in there sooner than later. But I really believe that money better come with consistency. No D will. I agree. Listen, I want to blame it all on D Will, and not on Will Wade. But I can only imagine how hard it'd have to be to try to like be the star, and you got your coach being inconsistent or he off buying homes and doing all this other stuff. Like I can see that being a problem and throwing the whole team off. But to go get a guy, D. Will was consistent to what he was. If you look at the numbers, he just came over here and put up the same numbers, except for he was supposed to be the number one option now. So he really was pretty consistent. We just paid him to be more than what he was. He couldn't live up to that. So I've come to terms that I'm like, you know what? That's okay. He was what he was, and we just misvalued that man altogether. Now, if you want to go after somebody that is a 20 points per game scorer on a very good team and they're in the portal chasing a bag, cool. I'm with that. But if you want to go after mid-major guys that average 20 a game in their conferences and expect them to come in the ACC or our level at all and still do that, we're highly mistaken. It's going to be rare. And if we fill our team up with them, it's not going to be a good look. You want to try it with one or two? Okay. But to have 7, that's a whole rotation of mid-majors. I don't want that. All right. Mark says, let's see. I think a lot of players are unsure, and underclassmen might be waiting to see how he does after his first year. Listen, you're right. We've been talking about this. If you are one of those players that's like, look, I really value the coach, right? It's not about money for me. Then cool. Some of these guys are just chasing the bag. And you just got to be like, look, all right, come over here. I got playing time. Like, you can really guarantee playing time at this point. You don't have anybody on your roster. You could be like, look, come be a starter. While this other school is like, I'm going to try to find so you can work your way into rotation, or you work your way into being a starter. I can't make any promises. Promise starter minutes, whatever you got to do to get a big-time player that is nervous about a first-year head coach. Honeycut, I heard James Brown from UNC is coming. Is this a joke? Are you joking? He couldn't even get on the court over there. Why are we getting our hand-me-downs that aren't even good? Van Allen was different. He started for them. Is this a joke? Let me know if you're joking. Now you're talking about he was on campus? Oh, maybe he's got a girlfriend or something on campus. Maybe. Wolfpack NBA says, feels like we're going back to going cheap, and I hope we catch lightning on the bottle every decade. Oh, man, the way the decade is crazy. I'm cool with like every 4 years, but a decade, woo. I hope we not. Look, we have a new chancellor that's like into sports. I would think that we would shift some of these funds to our athletic department and really start to spend and stop being so cheap. I thought that was going to be the change. New chancellor, I'm like, oh, some shift is about to happen. And I haven't seen it yet. Maybe we saw it last year for a little bit, and maybe we got burnt, and now everybody's like, look, I told y'all we shouldn't have did that. And now we're back to tripping again. But maybe we're just overreacting like all some of these other Pack fans are saying, and we just got to give it time, right? It's going on 2 weeks, and we got one commitment. So we should be appreciative of that one. Mount Pack says, what about the 7'2" Cincy center? I guess the concern of there are 0 7-footers that are linked to NC State right now. Hines is only 6'10". There should be some chatter. There should be, but there's not, and I don't know anything about 7'2" center. I mean, I've heard of the person you're talking about, but that's it. Just heard. Oh, hold on. Excuse me. All right. Earl says, tell you the truth, Gary. D. Will was coach main focus, but P2 was a real star with the leash on his playing. Give him the bag and unleash his full potential. Absolutely. Listen, Paul could have averaged damn near 20. Two things got in his way. Will Wade and himself. He needs a coach that says, look, if you don't daggone shoot that ball when you're hot, I guess sometimes he's streaky. Okay, you in a game where my man's just chucking up bricks. Cool, relax on that. Do some other stuff. Go rebound. But those games when he's like 4 or 5 from 3, he literally is gun shy. And for me to accept that there's players that have the ability to just lock up Paul and keep him from getting this shot off is blasphemy. Like, stop it. This man has the ability to not only jump higher on his jumper than most people, but he does a sidestep in some of his ISOs, I guess, that allows him to get open. If he wants to shoot the 3, he can get a 3 off. But yet, he don't really have that sniper mentality. He's like, oh, I'm open, I'm a good shooter, I'm going to shoot. Not I'm chasing my shot. You're going to be tired trying to keep me from scoring. That's what he needs to add in the offseason. That would make giving him the bag all worth it. Nobody would even be talking about overpaying for him. Because you literally have to commit to him the entire game, but you don't have to do that right now because he's just content with limiting his game and not, I don't know, developing other aspects of it and really making you play defense. I'm hoping he's working on that. It's 46-35 says, at least it appears we're targeting the best players on these teams. They're used to making plays, even if it's at a lower level. Last year, none of our starters started at their old school. That's not true. Williams definitely was a starter at his old school. And Van Allen was too. But I get what you're saying. These guys should be more ready for the limelight, But still, I'm not concerned about their readiness more than like their ability. That's my thing. But I get your point. Pat says, if Gainey pulls off the Moneyball miracle and lightning strikes, we'll look back on this tonight and laugh. Odds are we won't have that experience, but I won't fully count it out like his staff. So let's talk about this. I'm hearing this Moneyball thing. Y'all explain that to me. I'm not understanding the Moneyball reference. What does that mean? Before I can comment on it, I need a better understanding of what that really means. And while I wait for y'all to respond, I'd love to be like, hey, y'all remember when we were up here cutting up, worried about silly stuff? Gainey had it figured out the whole time. And now we look silly. Man, that'd be the best live ever. Would love to chuckle But right now, I don't see that being the case. Pat, can you explain to me? Anybody else explain to me this Moneyball thing? All right. Jack says it's a baseball movie where the A's found underrated guys and tried to make something happen by being cheap. But in reality, they had the MVP and some of the best players in the league. Okay. I have to go check the movie out because I believe one of the Joes or something brought that up recently. I don't know where I heard it, but yeah. Definitely have to check the movie out and see. I mean, it'd be nice to underpay and all of a sudden you got ACC Player of the Year. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, now did you find guys on the radar? Where they leave out in the movie the elite guys they had on the team. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if we're saying our new coach is that type of guy, what he does is he just, he's only going to find the hidden gems, then cool. But you can't recruit North Carolina at a high level and think you're not going to pay. Like the top players coming out of North Carolina are going to be very expensive. What are we going to do about it? Rob says it's about filling a team with the most efficient players, not always the best names. Yeah, I hear you. I don't need the best names. I just need a name. That's all I'm asking for. A name. One. Let's start there. Christopher says, can't just get a big for the sake of getting one, but we must get someone. Gainey knows it. We're learning a lot this year about his style or recruiting, which was supposedly highly praised. Listen, I'm not even going to get into this whole thing about he's supposed to be a great recruiter because I'm like, he hasn't recruited any of the players that we say we wanted back. Cole, gone. P2, potentially gone. Abel, gone. So you had the inside track on those guys, right? You came to the school, you get to talk to them first, and you couldn't potentially keep any of those three. So my confidence for him to go out in a short amount of time and recruit other guys is not very high. So I'm waiting for this super recruiter to just shine and show me, oh, Gary, shut up. We got this thing figured out over here. I'm waiting. I want that moment so bad. No, just saying that was Moneyball. I understand, Rob. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Thank you for the clarity. As agree on P2, he was too passive and allowed the D to dictate him instead of getting to his spots. Absolutely. This is funny. Wolfpack NBA says, yes, we need a name. Good talent going to get snatched up, and we're left with Lee's McCray cast-offs. Listen, if somebody from Lee's McCray makes our team, I'm going to be tight. Okay, tight. Are they like Division 2? I don't even think they're Division 1. Oh Lord, that's funny. It's 4365 says, what would be your minimum achievements for a good season next year? The season we just had, you got to be above 500, make the tournament. Even if you get first, if you make it to the first four, I'd be like, okay, we didn't go backwards. That's what I want. I do not want to go backwards. If we were in a time where our coach had to build his team through high school recruiting and you couldn't just go in the portal and just get guys, I would be more patient. But it's not that time. He doesn't have to wait for these freshmen to turn into juniors and seniors. He can go get a guy now and be relevant next year. So no down years for me. Like, that's how I feel. At a minimum, if we're not going to spend like the elite of the conference, we should be able to still make the tournament. We should still be top third in the conference. So at least, what's that? Fifth or sixth at worst. Like, that's my expectation. Christian says Boswell coming. We don't know. It's sort of like Hammond. I mean, the trip was great, all praise, yada yada, but he left without committing. So maybe he commits tomorrow or something. Who knows? David said, let's go. Get a big or this Boswell kid. I want both. Right? Get Boswell. You should have him locked up. The fact that we're not more confident about him, he should have been the first one that we locked up. You already know the coach. He was your coach. Like, what is... I don't get what the holdup is. All you had to do was come here, see the facilities. I mean, you probably seen it on TV. So, yeah, I mean, it's that him being not being a commit yet doesn't make much sense to me. If he's coming, I don't know what the holdup is. If it's the money, that means that we're being cheap and it's not going to play out well for us. But we'll see. Jack, I did see that. Jack says Hammond said he committed Saturday night, but it wasn't announced until yesterday. I'm confused. What potentially happens is these players say they're committed to the actual staff, and then they're, for some reason, delaying putting anything out there because I didn't see anything from him. I don't think I saw a social media post on Saturday. It might have been yesterday. I don't know, but yeah, there definitely seems to be some type of a delay. Let me check if he did post that on Saturday. I'll let you all get your questions in while I am checking this. If you find them before I do, you can let me know. Oh, while I'm looking at this, I did come across, you all seeing about Gavin Sykes. We reached out to him, freshman of the year. Um, Big West freshman of the year. Another guard. 6'4". Hope we don't get him before we get another big. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, Sunday. So it is Monday, isn't it, guys? No, it's Tuesday. Oops, excuse me. So I thought it was Sunday, but you all are saying yesterday. Okay. I don't know who the Charleston Southern kid is. Jack. I don't know who that is. Maybe says Wilkins is returning. Some say Musa. Unfortunately, those are unproven bigs at that point. Oh my gosh. Musa. Why? Like I don't get, what do you like about us? Because we are going to ride you so hard. Like we're going to be really critiquing everything you do, the way you quit on us. Okay? And you quit. Musa, I know you're going to see this. You quit. If you're not going to see, I'm going to clip it and try to send it to you. I watched you pretend to be hurt. Okay? I watched you trip over people's feet, miss the ball, and roll into the basket. You do not need to come back to NC State. It's okay. We will not be mad at you if you go in the portal. I promise you. It'll be fine. You can keep it moving. But I'll tell you one thing. If you are going to come back, you need to get in the weight room. I know Gainey going to work on your defense, but there is no excuse for you to be a grown man with no muscles. You got to get on it, my guy. It's unacceptable. David said, Musa not going to make money anywhere else. He's not. I don't want to give him our money. It seemed like we got very little of it. The way we holding on to it so tight, don't give it to him. I would much rather go after one of these mid-major bigs or the JUCO bigs, whatever it is, than give this money to Musa, because we already know what it is. He's not ready for what we have going on, what we're trying to do. They said Musa should only be a scout team player with very minimal pay. Maybe our coaches are working him out now. Eddie, I hear you. Like, he shouldn't. If he's on a scout team, he shouldn't get paid. If we want to give him a scholarship so he can go to school and get an education, cool. I don't got a problem with that. He can take up a scholarship. But scholarship and NIL, that's being greedy. I don't want that at all. It's 43.65. I put Duke, Louisville, Miami, Virginia, UNC, and Clemson all above us. That puts us at 7th, like last year. And the other teams you put there, let me see. You covered Duke, Louisville, Miami, Virginia, UNC, Clemson. I feel like we're missing somebody. Nah, you might. Oh, Florida State. Florida State coach can coach. That's all I know. I don't know about what their team is going to look like, but I do know that man can coach his butt off because we beat the brakes off of them. And their season was completely different than ours down the stretch. I'm talking about he got those boys playing good at a high level, and they were in every single game. If they didn't win it, they were right there. So I'm hoping that's what we get with Gainey. Somebody that's like, look, we're going to get better throughout the year. But that guy can coach, so I'm going to add Florida State in there. They'll be in the mix with us at that little 7th spot based on how it's looking. Ross says Florida State and Pitt are going to be. Pitt is another one. That's a good point. They've locked up at least 2 decent transfers in the last couple of days. How about that, guys? Pitt is getting more commitments than us. Pitt. And yeah, we got a first-year coach, but their coach is trash. He been trash. Like, this dude's not winning anything. We should definitely be able to get players over them. They said Virginia going to bring back their whole team. Yeah, we know. That's unfortunate. But look, guys, we've been on here for a good minute. We have vented and said our frustrations. I'm hoping the next live that we get on is going to be celebrating a high-level commit. I will not just wait forever to go live again, because if it's going to take that long, I'm just going to be like, forget it. But maybe in the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll have some good news. Maybe. In the meantime, appreciate y'all for chiming in. Please, like, subscribe if you haven't. Share the channel with all your Pack family. And go Pack.